Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Barry asked me to convey to you that he had to travel today to visit a relative who's very sick. So he wanted me to let you know that he truly regrets missing today. He will definitely be back for the last two Sadhana of Mahamudra classes, March 14th and 21st. And he's fully with us tonight in heart and spirit. So he's asked me to lead the practice tonight, but he said he's definitely with us. So we'll begin with 5 minutes of sitting practice, sitting upright and relaxed, going out with the breath. When thoughts, emotions, feelings arise, just label them thinking and come back to the breath. And I want to pass on one instruction from a very wise person who said,
I can make it larger.
the trick is to start immediately. In other words, sometimes we sit and it takes us 4 or 5 minutes to begin to practice. So tonight we sit and we just practice, apply the technique from the very first moment. So Ina, if you could ring the bell, please.
I don't know why I can't make it larger. Full screen.
Sorry, everyone. I can hear someone talking. Just gonna mute everyone, and I will also make it the way you cannot unmute yourself. Okay, it's done.
Okay, so if you just ring the bell, we'll start.
Yes. Give me a second.
Okay, thank you. So I'll just say a few words of introduction to the fourth talk. Um, so Ina, are you there? Yeah, thank you. So just a few introductory words for, this is the fourth talk of Chögyam Trungpa Rinpoche's seminar on the Sadhana of Mahamudra. And it has a different quality from the last three talks. I just want to say a word about that quality. So far in the first three talks, Chögyam Trungpa Rinpoche has set down some basic principles. The first one on the notion of guru. What does it mean? What's the function of teachers, the role of teachers in the Hinayana, the Mahayana, and the Vajrayana? And the second talk was on crazy wisdom, how the light of wisdom naturally radiates and does whatever is needed to wake people up. Whatever that light shines on, whatever is needed, that's the energy that's applied to wake people up. It could be unconventional. Whatever needs to be subdued is subdued. Whatever needs to be destroyed is destroyed. Whatever needs its care is cared for. Then the third talk was on the charnel ground, about starting where we are with the reality of birth, death, neurosis, the truth of suffering, not starting with some ideal fantasy land of how we would like things to be, but starting with the way things actually are. So that was the third talk. But now in the fourth talk, and also next week in the fifth talk, Chögyam Trungpa Rinpoche pokes directly at our habitual misconceptions and habits that stop us relating fully and properly with the fourth noble truth, the path of liberation. So we talk about devotion, but today Trungpa Rinpoche really questions, do we really know what we're talking about? Do we really know what devotion means? So he pokes at the different ways that we misunderstand what that really means. And next week, he does the same with the notion of giving. Do we really know what it means to give? Or are we always attaching conditions that show that we really want something back? We don't really know. So Trungpa Rinpoche observed us so accurately and sharply and carefully that he first dismantles what we think that these things are. Why does he do that? So that we can really understand and truly practice the Buddhist path. So please prepare to be poked tonight and again next Saturday. So the fourth talk, please roll it.
before we discussed the general setups of the visual structure of the mandala, and I would like to go further by discussing that the implication behind that altogether. And on that particular seat of lotus, who sits the crazy wisdom body of all Buddhas of the past, the present, the future, and that particular person is the embodiment of basic sanity, who actually controls, directs the rest of the universe at the same time, and phenomena, all of existence are included in that particular direction. And that particular body seems to be related to the figure, if you like to call it, is related with the sense of devotion, object of devotion. That somebody's rough guess, so to speak, on the notion of enlightenment, a notion of a basic sanity, notion of surrendering, notion of openness, are all included in that particular situation. Although this particular figure or symbol, embodiment, is not regarded as simply unreasonably divine and sacred as such. And basically, divinity and sacredness from superficial level does not particularly hold any particular solidness. It is just purely notion of something is untouchable. Something is very sacred. It shouldn't be hampered or being touched by dirty hands. But in this particular case, the notion of sanity and devotion is something that exists within us, and also our faith and trust, a little experience that we might have of that portion of sanity and serenity are still very intact. That sort of something exists in us, and also something exists out of us at the same time, are combined together. So there are several levels of devotion, seemingly, and the basic devotion is sense of longing. In the Tibetan term for devotion is moku, which is divided into two sections. First one is a mopa, second one is a kupa. And mopa, in this case, is admiration. Such admiration could be purely looking for a further object of heroism and fan approach, worshipping such a hero that possesses a great deal of grace and a great deal of dignity, a great deal of talent. In many cases that we find, by looking at an art object which are produced by a master artist, or listening to a work that is produced by a master artist, makes us jealous. depressed, because we would say to ourselves, how come that I can't do these things? I would like to be one of those people who produce fantastic work of art. There's also pain involved, that you try to compete with somebody who's actually accomplished tremendous discipline. The sense of pain is involved with that. Longingness also could take place in the sense that such artists had able to produce work of art, which is fantastic and great. So therefore, we feel lonesome. That we, on the other hand, are unable to execute such beautiful, brilliant work of art. We feel inadequate and completely stupid. That we feel inadequate, which creates a depression. And then at the other extreme goes is because of all these people who produce fantastic things is purely insulted to us. And we get tremendously resentful about anything that beautiful and fantastic is presented to us. And we would like to steal work of art in the museums. We would like to destroy, burn down the museums, if you are going to the extreme. Or if necessary, we just like to insult those people who actually have achieved something, those people who are in a position to achieve something, or those people who have an appreciation of some kind of work of art. We get completely pissed off at those kind of situations. And another situation is obviously immense distance between that work of art and our ability, our particular potentiality. That we begin to feel those work of art is fine, but nothing to do with me. And I would like to put on a record. I want to relax, put that particular piece of music, or if I'm rich enough to buy such painting or a reproduction of those, or even if I'm all that rich, but I might be able to buy a postcard of them by visiting the museums, or a book of it, admire it, but nevertheless, there's nothing to do with me. I'm completely devoid of such possibilities that we feel completely cut off. We feel that we have nothing to do with it, and we completely put off our psychological blockage on the basis of humbleness and resentment. And the sense of inadequacy is too painful to look into. So we decided just to cut it off completely. Admiration is a very dangerous word from that point of view. Admiring something that you want to actually suck in. You want to pour your passionate maple syrup, honey juice all over the place until you make the whole thing completely gooey and eat it up completely. Whereas admiration is a sense of awe and fear that you don't want to even touch this stuff. Or that your mind is completely closed off to that particular appreciation, particular possibilities of appreciation, completely closed off. And all those three possibilities seem to be the main reason: the repelling aspect of appreciation, and seduction aspect of appreciation, and different aspect of the appreciation, which always goes on. When we begin to appreciate a guru, teacher, even the crazy wisdom person, like I was saying, if you could dare to discuss such a topic at this point, sometimes you're meeting a crazy wisdom person, or even touching on the verge of the possibilities of that philosophy, we are completely terrified, threatened. We will not have nothing to do with it, absolutely nothing to do with it. Or else we would like to suck and chew and gnaw and swallow, digest completely. So it becomes part of you, so there's nobody threatened from outside. And the third possibility is related with the crazy wisdom person, quite a possibility, is just regarded as a pure icon that you hang on a wall. You appreciate, you worship, and thinking that if you're on the good side of such great people, such great concept, it's safe for you. If you're not on the wrong side, that's good. And just to make it into altarpiece. We do know a lot of cases, people around this country have fantastic wall painting, wallpaper filled with all kinds of guys from Indonesia to Japan, Eskimos and American Indians and Indian freaks or whatever you have. Completely, your wall is completely pasted with those heroes, pinups of all kinds, completely filled with such personalities. Admiration is a very strange and dangerous word at the same time. In a lot of these cases, which you seem to be slightly out-of-dated these days, but nevertheless such a trip takes place, which is a purely a trip and based on spiritual materialism, obviously, which this particular sadhana and philosophy of this particular sadhana trying to cut through. That there's a sense of wanting to cut through. But at the same time that you would like to worship, that before that you be cut through, that you make sure that you want to be on the right side of such people. Instead of confronting the Doji Troller or Karmapakshi as a person, before you meet them, you would like them to be on the right side of your particular perspective. And supposing if they happens to show up, we could tell them, look, there's your painting of you. There's an altar I created for you. So I'm on your side, see? Don't destroy my ego. I'm on your side. That seemed to be the only reason why that we usually have that kind of approach towards the devotion, which is largely based on a sense of materialistic approach, that we would like to win over those people which is a somewhat theistic approach, said nonetheless, but again, it's also not only theistic approach, but it's a somewhat Christian approach. The notion of the God is on our side. As long as we have a Bible and a cross, quite possibly a sword, that we could place the cross on our chest and carry the Bible on our other hand and carry the sword on the other hand, we are entitled to destroy any non-believers completely. we could kill our enemies who are regarded as non-believers, and they are anti-God at that point, non-believers in the Bible. Admiration could also become somewhat secularized completely. The worship towards highest principles that we believe is based on a certain person who had immense accomplishment, immense understanding about reality, and immense richness. So we regard the object of our worship is that of a king. As long as you're on the right side of Don Corleone, everything's okay. Otherwise, you might be shut down or screwed, ripped off in your business adventures, whatever. Those are another kind of problems that exist. Admiration, so much for admiration. When we say, I admire you so much, yeah. Why? What is it all about? How come? Where does that admiration come from? What you do with it? Do you want to just purely tell me that? Or maybe there's something embarrassing about the whole thing. Admiration is somewhat negative from that point of view, but also at the same time, equally, it is very positive too. Admiring something is not only that you want to be sucked in, or you want to be eaten up, or you want to be a part of that particular gang, part of that particular soldier. The society is such. But admiration can also bring a sense of heroism, tremendous dignity. That once you admire something, that doesn't mean to say you are competing with anything of your problems, but you share that particular immense vision. Could be glorified, fantastic firework, fantastic celebration. Reason why such attitude also can exist is because that there's no personal investment, so to speak, that you put into the cause, so to speak. That your role is simply to devote yourself, to develop devotion completely. So you have no investment, and you are not expecting particular breakdowns in how much cut you get out of that particular business deal anymore. Absolutely not. So because of that sense of such openness, you have completed a deal, as a matter of fact, at some time, on the other hand, that such admiration becomes sharing part of it is a fantastic crescendo. That kind of admiration is a sense of heroism in the true sense. Why? Because you don't regard the whole thing as purely a business deal. You regard the whole thing as just simply taking a journey along, and you are not particularly expecting any kind of cut comes out of that particular journey, profit of any kind as such particularly, and the whole admiration is complete, clear system process. And an analogy I can come up with is a person who can actually smell and feel the mountain air without least problem of sinuses difficulties. You can breathe fresh mountain air completely. You can say, look at the mountains. You can feel the cool, fresh mountain air you can breathe in through your lungs. You feel part of the mountains, part of this highland. Fantastic. That's admiration, sharing. In between the times, you don't just run back to your bedroom and trying to get a duffel jacket over you. So in case I catch cold, although this mountain air is fantastic, but suspicious, in case I catch cold, you don't do that. You just simply breathe your mountain air, which is a source of strength and life at the same time. Fantastic. Then we have the second portion of the devotion concept, which is called Kupa, Tibetan, which literally means absence of arrogance, which actually goes down with what we discussed already. If you have a real sense of belonging, devotion, sense of admiration, automatically, that automatically means the sense of absence of arrogance. Arrogance falls in a lot of levels. Sometimes it falls in a situation that there's a lot of passion, too much wanting is involved, and because of that, arrogance becomes. You want to be object of the passionate person, that you cease to actually see rest of your world properly, that you're so passionately involved in your own arrogance, your own particular passionateness, basically, even relating with a teacher, guru, that you are involved with your own passion, that things that are created around you become such a sensual, passionate, sensual problem, which is actually a definition of what we actually call trip. In this point, when we call you're tripping on something, it is some kind of mixture of passion and arrogance together, which I have actually witnessed. It was such a monumental experience in visiting Iceland quite a few months ago. It was a fantastic demonstration of that. Everybody appreciates the ocean and the sunset, the sunrise. Everybody's holding on to each other, shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm. Everybody's drunk with beauty of whatever it may be. It's an unbelievable place. It's a place of decadence in such a situation, actually. So it even ceased to become a decadent situation. It becomes a real horrifying world. Can you imagine such a thing? That the cops begin to get up and put down makeups and begin to dance, begin to make love to you. It's very deadly, but a fantastically sensuous, great place. More than one can imagine. I didn't realize actually sunset means all that lot to people. It is some kind of a demonstration of visual orgasm. Everybody loves to watch. And sunrise is some kind of giving birth to your personal child on the spot. Fantastic place. However, let's forget about that place. Such a monumental art of neurosis had built all over the place, no doubt. And from that, even Disneyland is a world of enlightenment, actually. It's just good to find, you just go and see these things, it's fine. It's supposed to be some kind of statement of American existence, as Disney is the perfect American analogy of businessmen, pleasure, all kinds of trips. But it's very kind and very enlightened place. Compared with that, there are a lot of sanities in Disney from that point of view. Compared with our place. have some kind of problem there actually. In notion of absence of arrogance, that how much we could actually indulge ourselves to personal situations, that we are actually collecting all these informations and all these techniques and stories and quotations and little words of wisdom to our benefit. That finally we could actually beat our old teacher who taught us to death. And get your reward by saying, when I used to be your teacher, you treated me wrong. You give me a hard time. But now it's my turn to give you a hard time. That seemed to be the wrong end of the stick. Immense arrogance. In the notion of absence of arrogance, from that point of view, is that there's a sense of less resentful about world in general, as well as that relationships that we are involved ourselves to our own particular world, our particular bank, to make deals with our business, money level, and particular landlord and lady, that we have to make a relationship spread. And all of those situations, it seems to provide us with the absence of arrogance. And particularly the notion of guru in the crazy wisdom level, absence of arrogance is very much required. Absolutely so. That you are demanded on the spot. That unless your absence of arrogance, you are not accepted as a good student. You might have your pride in your poetry, your wood carving, your photography. You might have all kinds of talents. But you can't regard them as passport into the sanity. In fact, when you present them, they are the garbage towards sanity. So your visa might be rejected several times by presenting your little thingies, which hangs out, which you would like to use as conveniently applicable situation, dress them up and write nice little reports about what you have done with your little thingies that exist, which is arrogant. It's being dressed up as presentable. Which is trying to deal with the amateur, sufficient amateurism is regarded as being professional, someone. You could write a whole book about that fantastic material that is devoted to your spiritual growth, that you had to fight with your mother in the past 20 years, and how much you've learned out of that. You could write whole essays, whole book about it. You could give it to your crazy wisdom person as an application to enter into Vajrayana discipline. can imagine what such a person would experience dealing with a crazy wisdom person. In such little thing is made out to professional approach. Quite possible you'll be beheaded on the spot. Even if he's willing to do that, that's signs of acceptance, but even not that. Maybe give you a big pain on your neck. Your abilities to being great mathematician, that you understood the truth, the real truth out of this. You're a great poet, you understood the great truth out of that. You're a great carpenter, you're a great cook, or you're a great crook. All of those applications are regarded as phony. A crazy wisdom person wouldn't accept such thing at all. Out of the question altogether. Not that a crazy wisdom person is involved with the purely moralities of how respectable you are in society as such, particularly alone, but because the reason why you're bending the truth, in some sense, if you offer your particular neurosis as a gift, an opening gesture as such, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But beyond that, if you begin to dress them up and make it into a course description as if you're invited to teach in a university, stinks. That seems to be usually what happens in a lot of the universities, is that you make up your own particular thing out of what you've learned, or of your own neurosis, and you use technical terms for it, try to dress them up and make them respectable and make them seemingly workable. And the whole thing says, this particular pile of shit I would like to present to my students. And it could be called it as a tote. And we strange people. We have so many good ideas, such brilliant, but we are basically so dumb, so naive. Two situations of longingness and absence of ego, Mirpa and Kupa, put together, which makes very constructive directions to a practice situation. Mirpa, or longingness, of heroism, and Kupa, in sense of absence of ego, of clinging on one's own particular case history, which puts us in a completely naked situation, completely real situation, properly, fully, thoroughly. And out of that we get some kind of glimpse of the crazy wisdom possibilities. And those two particular measurements of Mirpa and Kupa, twofold devotion process, are regarded as just eye-opening operation. First, removing, slicing on your tissue of your eyes, and finally, something that was obstacle in your retinue is removed as well at the same time. So those two situations are Mupa and Kupa. So finally you can see the vivid brilliantness of the real vision properly, fully.
You're muted, so we cannot hear you. Can you please start over? Thank you. You're still muted.
Okay, I got it.
Now you're back, yeah.
Okay. So we'll do the practice, and I'll just say a few words about how we do the practice. So just bear with me while I'll just basically go through it. So first of all, this practice this evening, for those of you who have not done it before, this is your permission to practice it in the future. So as I mentioned to you, Chögyam Trungpa Rinpoche established as the permission to do this practice, first to practice it the first time with those who are already familiar with it. He wanted this to be available to all his students, so he gave this practice to us without the need for abhisheka or empowerment, beyond just practicing it together for the first time. So doing it tonight together is your authorization to practice the sadhana. But Trungpa Rinpoche emphasized that we should practice this as a group practice until you're very familiar with it, until you really get to know it. Please do not do it as an individual practice or a retreat practice. And even then, when you're ready for that, it should be under the guidance of a proper meditation instructor. It's a very powerful practice, and the support of the group is really necessary. So this is practice Trungpa Rinpoche specified on new moon days and full moon days. And there are a number of groups that do practice it online. And we will send around a list of those so that you can work out what fits your time zone. If you want to practice it in the future, then you can join any one of those groups. Also, to let you know that in June, there will be a 10-day Sadhana of Mahamudra retreat outside of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. So if you're interested in a longer retreat on this sadhana, please just email us a note and we'll put you in touch with the organizers. So the first instruction on how to do the practice, I will tell you exactly as I heard it, which is just go with the energy. That's what I was told, and I'm passing that on. There is a teaching in every line, in every phrase, in every word, but don't try to work it out. When we're practicing, just feel it, let the energy carry us. The study should definitely happen later, that's wonderful, but when we're practicing, don't try to work it out. So we usually start the practice with several minutes of sitting practice. So it can be 10 minutes of sitting practice tonight because it's just an introduction to the sadhana. We'll do that very briefly, just 30 seconds or a minute of sitting, but normally, please sit longer than that. However much time you have, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the beginning. After that, the sadhana has 3 parts. So you don't have the text, so don't worry, just follow along the practice with me. But the first section of the sadhana starts with taking refuge. It's an unusual way of taking refuge. We take refuge in the way things really are, in reality. So we take the refuge and the bodhisattva vow 3 times, and you can have your hands in Anjali if you wish. So we do the refuge and bodhicitta 3 times. That's the first page. After that, we sit again. We do sitting practice, shamatha vipassana again. Again, if you have time, do 5 minutes of sitting here. Tonight, because it's just an introduction, we'll do that sitting practice after the refuge very briefly, 30 seconds or a minute, but normally sit longer. The second page of the sadhana is basically, what's this all about? And this is the ultimate statement of Buddhism being not theistic. We are those characters. We say, my whole being is Dorje Trolla. We are that awakened energy. So we say that explicitly on the second page. You'll see that in the text. And then the next section is done very rapidly and with a lot of energy. And that's the charnel ground. This is the start where we are. All the confusion and all the wisdom exists within that charnel ground. There's no other place to begin. And we recite that very rapidly. It's all in prose with a lot of energy. This is our starting point, the foundation, what Trungpa Rinpoche talked about last time. At the end of that section, after the words, "It is the great Guru Mandala," we pause very briefly, just for 10, 20 seconds to mark the end of the first section of the sadhana. The second section of the sadhana is recited much more slowly. It's more poetic. It's done with a sense of yearning, a sense of longing. We're calling on the profound wisdom traditions of the past. Please be with us. Please enter us. Help us to wake up. Inspire us. This is where we're actually calling on 2,600 years of the Buddha's wisdom to be with us, to enter our being. And it's done with that sense of yearning, more slowly. At the end of that section, we say, the only offering I can make is to follow your example. And again, we pause for just maybe 10 seconds. And then the third section of the sadhana, after that pause, is again more rapid. And in this third section, we take a leap. This is where we identify with the Buddhas. This is where we say our basic nature is awake. And if we don't believe it, then we just make believe. So that third section is done with real faith in our Buddha nature, in our basically awake, loving, compassionate nature, who we really are. In that section, about the second page of that section, we say the 4 dharmas of Gampopa. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. And 4 lines up to, grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Those 4 lines we say 7 times. Just follow along with me, but just to let you know that the 4 dharmas of Gampopa we say 7 times. Then we make an offering, not the usual 7 bowls of water on the shrine, or not the way our shrine is set up with the outer offerings. It's an inner offering. We offer our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our confusion. We offer all of that. So we do that section, the offering section. Then there's a short section, which is the Abhisheka. And then we do the mantra. The mantra of this sadhana is Hum, 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 the triple Hum. And we do that mantra three ways. First, we do it out loud, Hum, 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 Hum. And we all do that together. And you don't have to do it particularly loudly, but we do it out loud, Hum, 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 Hum. Then I will say Hum, Hum, Hum more loudly, and then we keep going with the mantra, but do it silently. You keep moving your lips. So you keep doing Hum, 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 but in the second section of the mantra, you do it silently. Again, I'll say Hum, Hum, Hum more loudly. And then the last section of the mantra, we just rest in the nature of our mind. We do nothing. We just be here completely. So we do that mantra. Normally, you would do it 3 or 4 minutes, each of those 3 sections. But tonight, very, very brief, just maybe a minute each, just as an introduction. And then we do the 2-page closing of the sadhana. The first page is a celebration, and the last page of that closing section is basically saying, please stay with us. When we finish this practice, we don't want to lose this inspiration and this energy. So that's the basic way the practice is done. And now we will do it together. So just follow along with me. The sadhana will be scrolled on the screen, so just follow the words along. So we'll begin with just a minute of sitting practice. You can skip over the italics. Just go right to the text. Okay, so we'll just sit for a minute. And now read out loud along with me together. Namo, earth, water, fire, and all the elements, the animate and the inanimate, the trees and the greenery, and so on, all partake of the nature of self-existing equanimity, which is quite simply what the great wrathful one is. In the spontaneous wisdom of the Trikaya, I take refuge with body, speech, and mind, in order to free those who suffer at the hands of the 3 lords of materialism and are afraid of external phenomena which are their own projections. I take this vow in meditation. Namo, earth, water, fire, and all the elements, the animate and the inanimate, the trees and the greenery, and so on, all partake of the nature of self-existing equanimity, which is quite simply what the great wrathful one is. In the spontaneous wisdom of the Trikaya, I take refuge with body, speech, and mind in order to free those who suffer at the hands of the 3 lords of materialism and are afraid of external phenomena which are their own projections. I take this vow in meditation. Namo, earth, water, fire, and all the elements, the animate and the inanimate, the trees and the greenery, and so on, all partake of the nature of self-existing equanimity, which is quite simply what the great wrathful one is. In the spontaneous wisdom of the Trikaya, I take refuge with body, speech, and mind in order to free those who suffer at the hands of the three lords of materialism and are afraid of external phenomena which are their own projections. I take this vow in meditation. Hum, hum, hum. In the boundless space of suchness, in the play of the great light, all the miracles of sight, sound, and mind are the five wisdoms and the five Buddhas. This is the mandala which is never arranged but is always complete. It is the great bliss, primeval and all-pervading. Hum, it is boundless equanimity which has never changed. It is unified into a single circle beyond confusion. In its basic character, there is no longer any trace of ignorance nor of understanding. Nothing whatever but everything arises from it, yet it reveals the spontaneous play of the mandala. Hum, hum, hum. My whole being is Dorje Trollo, and my form is Karma Pakshi. My speech is Mikyo Dorje, and my mind is Rangjung Dorje. With that unwavering conviction, fearlessly enjoy the Mahamudra and attain the experience of Mahaati. Hum, hum, hum. In the state of non-meditation, all phenomena subside in that great graveyard in which lie buried the complexities of samsara and nirvana. This is the universal ground of everything. It is the basis of freedom and also the basis of confusion. Within it, the Vajra anger, the flame of death, burns fiercely and consumes the fabric of dualistic thoughts. The black river of death, the Vajra passion, turbulent with massive waves, destroys the raft of conceptualization to the roaring sound of the immeasurable void. The great poisonous wind of the Vajra ignorance blows with all-pervading energy like an autumn storm and sweeps away all thoughts of possessiveness and self like a pile of dust. Whatever you see partakes of the nature of that wisdom which transcends past, present, and future. From here came the Buddhas of the past. Here live the Buddhas of the present. This is the primeval ground from which the Buddhas of the future will come. This is the heavenly realm of the Dakinis, the secret charnel ground of the blazing mountain. But you won't find ordinary earth and rocks here, even if you look for them. All the mountains are Buddha Lochana, who is the all-pervading wisdom of equanimity and unchanging stillness. This is the realm in which the distinctions between meditation and the post-meditation experience no longer occur. In this fearless state, even if the Buddhas of the three times rise against you, you will remain in the indestructible Vajra nature. The water which flows here is the Buddha Mamaki, who is the lake of the mirror-like wisdom, clear and pure as though the sky had melted. Here is the joyous river, which is the transcendent form of the eight kinds of consciousness. It flows into the great purity which goes beyond clean and unclean. In the various parts of the charnel ground can be seen the terrifying trees which are the protecting Mahakalis, Rangjung Gyalmo, Dorje Sogrupma, Tutsolma, and Ekajati. In these trees, vultures, ravens, hawks, and eagles perch, hungry for meat and thirsting for blood. They represent the concept of good and evil. Until you stop clinging to this concept, the Mahakalis will continue to manifest as friendly goddesses and harmful demons. Various animals roam about, tigers, leopards, bears, jackals, and dogs, all howling and jumping up and down excitedly. These represent the different kinds of perception. Here too are the chotams of the awakened state of mind, where the great yogis live. They represent the supernormal powers which need not be sought. In the middle of this heavenly realm is a huge rock mountain which arose from the corpse of the Rudra of ego. It is triangular in shape and it pierces the skies. It is dignified and awe-inspiring and radiates the blue light of Vajrasattva. On top of this mountain is the red triangle, which can accommodate all apparent phenomena and the whole of existence. This is the primeval ground where the question of samsara and nirvana does not arise. It is the beginning and the end of everything. The triangle radiates the blazing red light of inner warmth and compassion. Above the triangle is a beautiful flower, 100-petaled lotus in full bloom, exuding a delicate scent. It is the lotus of discriminating wisdom. Here is the moon of great bliss and skillful means, and here is the sun of wisdom and shunyata. Hum. The sonorous voice of silence is heard. From it appears the rainbow body of wisdom. This is the personification of the body, speech, and mind of all the Buddhas. He is the self-born teacher, the Lord of the Herukas, Padma Turtring, the Lama whose power extends over all apparent phenomena and the whole of existence. He is Karma Pakshi, in whom are unified the unchanging mind of the Guru, the wisdom of the Yidam beyond waxing and waning, and the protectors, the confused thoughts which have returned to nakedness. He is dark red in color, symbolizing the oneness of everything within compassion. He is inseparable from peacefulness, and yet he acts whenever action is required. He subdues what needs to be subdued. He destroys what needs to be destroyed, and he cares for whatever needs his care. His anger, devoid of hatred, is as fierce and terrible as if the three worlds were on fire. His presence is overwhelming. His three eyes of wisdom are bloodshot and stare in all directions. They radiate light, outshining the sun and the moon. His expression is wrathful, and he bites the lower lip. He has a black triangular beard, shiny and twisted into a point, emitting sparks of fire. In his right hand, raised to the heavens, he holds a 9-pointed dorje of meteoric iron, emitting a storm of red sparks, each in the form of the letter Hum. Thus he subdues spiritual pride. In his left hand he holds a purba, also of meteoric iron, emitting a shower of sparks in the form of thousands of mahakalas. The purba pierces through the heart of seductive passion. He wears the three robes of a bhikshu, signifying the accomplishment of discipline, meditation, and wisdom. He is the originator and master of all Buddha activity. Hence he wears the black crown, bright with gold and blazing with unceasing light, emitting a steady stream of discs of light in 5 different colors. Which are the 5 Buddhas? He stands on a dakini in the form of a pregnant tigress, with his right leg bent and left leg extended in the Heruka posture. Even the thought of him will destroy the mountain of conceptualizations. The sight of him dries up the ocean of dualistic clingings. He is immersed in flames which radiate the intense heat of compassion. In his forehead center is the unchanging form of Vairochana, who is Dusam Kempa, the Dhamma-raja of the 3 worlds, clad in bhikshu robes, with his hands in the meditation posture, holding a dorje. He has white hair and a thin, dark face. His expression is wise and peaceful. He wears a black crown ornamented with a gold Dhamma chakra, which sends out rays of light. He is seated cross-legged on the back of an elephant. In the throat center of Karma Pakshi is Mikyo Dorje, the Lord of Speech, the unceasing voice of Amitabha. He is of orange color. He wears a tiger skin around his waist and a shawl of human skin around his shoulders. He wears ornaments of bone and jewels. In his raised right hand, he holds the sword of wisdom, which cuts off the root of the universal unconscious. In his left hand, level with his heart, he holds the vessel which contains the treasure of the Dharma. His face radiates friendliness. One glimpse of it suffices to open the door of confidence. The thought of him awakens memory. As the lord of the Padma family, he wears a black crown ornamented with a golden lotus, radiating the red light of Amitabha. He is seated on a white lion. In the heart center of the great wrathful one is the king of the Tathagatas, Rangjung Dorje, the Vajrasattva nature of never-ending awareness. He is blue in color with serene and friendly face, expressing the state which transcends the boundary between meditation and non-meditation. By a glimpse of his face, the wisdom of the mind transmission is established in one's heart. His three eyes gaze into fathomless space. He has achieved the highest state of simplicity and is therefore seen naked, seated cross-legged, with hands in the meditation posture, holding a skull cup filled with Amrita. He is the King of Kings and possessor of the indestructible Vajra Abhisheka, and therefore wears the black crown, bright with gold and ornamented with the Vajra. The blue light of Samantabhadra, the all-good, shines from the crown in the primordial state in which neither liberation nor confusion has ever arisen. Around Karmapakshi, a great host of the Buddhas and the Sangha, together with the utterance of the Dharma, fills the sky. They are surrounded by the Dharmapalas and Dakinis. The sound of hum and ah and pat shakes the sky. It is as though all the musical instruments of the universe were being played simultaneously. Whatever you see is the form of Karmapakshi run wild. Whatever you hear is the voice of Karmapakshi let loose. Whatever you think is the thought of Karmapakshi unleashed. In the spontaneously existing state where meditation is effortless, all movements are the Vajra dance, and all sound is the Vajra music. It is the great Guru Mandala. O Karmapa, Lord and knower of the three times, O Padmakara, Father and protector of all beings, you transcend all coming and going. Understanding this, I call upon you. Give thought to your only child. I am a credulous and helpless animal who has been fooled by the mirage of duality. I have been fool enough to think that I possess my own projections. So now you, my Father, are my only refuge. You alone can grasp the Buddha state. The glorious copper-colored mountain is within my heart. Is not this pure and all-pervading naked mind your dwelling place? Although I live in the slime and muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see it. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see it. The joy of spontaneous awareness, which is with me all the time, is not this your smiling face, O Karma Padmakara? Although I live in the slime and muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see it. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see it. At glorious Tatsang in the cave which can accommodate everything, samsara and nirvana both, the heretics and bandits of hope and fear are subdued, and all experiences are transformed into crazy wisdom. Is not this your doing, O Dorje Trollo? Although I live in the slime and muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see your face. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see your face. The corpse, bloated with the 8 worldly concerns, is cut into pieces by the knife of detachment and served up as the feast of the great bliss. Is not this your doing, O Karma Pakshi? Although I live in the slime and muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see your face. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see your face. In the boundless space of non-meditation, he who performs the great dance of Mahamudra puts a stop to thoughts so that all acts become the acts of the Guru. Is not this your doing, O Dusum Kempa? Although I live in the slime and muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see your face. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see your face. When the current of thoughts is self-liberated and the essence of Dharma is known, everything is understood and apparent phenomena are all the books one needs. Is not this your doing, omniscient Mikyo Dorje? Although I live in the slime and muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see your face. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see your face. The kingdom of no Dharma, free from concepts, is discovered within the heart. Here there is no hierarchy of different stages, and the mind returns to its naked state. Is not this your doing, O Rangjung Dorje? Although I live in the slime and muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see your face. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see your face. The Father Guru, the embodiment of all the siddhas, is all-seeing and all-pervading. Wherever you look, his transparent body is there, and the power of his blessing can never be diminished. Although I live in the slime and muck of the dark age, I still aspire to see his face. Although I stumble in the thick black fog of materialism, I still aspire to see his face. Living as I do in the dark age, I am calling upon you because I am trapped in this prison without refuge or protector. The age of the 3 poisons has dawned, and the 3 lords of materialism have seized power. This is the time of hell on earth. Sadness is always with us, and unceasing depression fills our minds. The search for an external protector has met with no success. The idea of a deity as an external being has deceived us, led us astray. Counting on friends has brought nothing but sorrow and insecurity. So now I have no other refuge but you, Karma Pakshi, the lotus-born. Think of us poor, miserable wretches. With deep devotion and intense longing, I supplicate you. The time has come for you to arouse yourself and do something. The tradition of meditation is waning, and intellectual arguments predominate. We are drunk with spiritual pride and seduced by passion. The Dharma is used for personal gain, and the river of materialism has burst its banks. The materialistic outlook dominates everywhere, and the mind is intoxicated with worldly concerns. Under such circumstances, how can you abandon us? The time has come when your child needs you. No material offering will please you, so the only offering I can make is to follow your example. When the wild and wrathful father approaches, the external world is seen to be transparent and unreal. The reasoning mind no longer clings and grasps. It is wonderful to arrive in your domain, in the pure land of the blazing mountain, where every experience is full of joy. Hey ho, the happy yogi. Every movement of the mind becomes bliss and emptiness. All polarity disappears when the mind emerges into nakedness. This is the mandala in which the six senses are self-liberated. On seeing your face, I am overjoyed. Now pain and pleasure alike have become ornaments which it is pleasant to wear. The experience of joy becomes devotion, and I am drunk with all-pervading blessings. This is a sign of the merging of mind and guru. The whole of existence is freed and becomes the guru. When such blessings descend, your child's depression is entirely liberated into blissfulness. Thank you, great Karmapa. Thank you, Father Padmakara. There is no separation between teacher and disciple. Father and child are one in the realm of thought. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. And grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Grant your blessing so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessing so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessing so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessing so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. To the crazy wisdom form of the Buddhas of the three times, the unified mandala of all the siddhas, Dorje Trollo Karma Pakshi, I make this supplication. Desire, hatred, and other hindrances are self-liberated. To the boundless rainbow body of wisdom, Padmakara Karma Pakshi, the Heruka who, untouched by concepts, pervades all existence, I make this supplication. Whatever is seen with the eyes is vividly unreal in emptiness, yet there is still form. This is the true image of Dusam Kempa, whom now I supplicate. Whatever is heard with the ears is the echo of emptiness, yet real. It is the clear and distinct utterance of Mikyo Dorje, whom now I supplicate. Good and bad, happy and sad, all thoughts vanish into emptiness like the imprint of a bird in the sky. This is the vivid mind of Rangjung Dorje, whom now I supplicate. The animate and the inanimate are the mandala of the glorious Mahasiddha, which no one can change. It always remains impressive and colorful. This mandala now I supplicate, the hope of attaining Buddhahood and the fear of continuing to wander in samsara, doubt that wisdom exists within one, and other dualistic thoughts. All these are my feast offering. Food, wealth, companionship, fame, and sensual attachments. All these I offer for the elaborate arrangement of the mandala. Wantingness, desire, and passion I offer as the great ocean of blood which comes from the killing of samsara. Thoughts of anger and hatred I offer as the amrita which intoxicates extreme beliefs and renders them inoperative. All that arises within, wandering thoughts, carelessness, and all that is subject to ignorance, I offer as the great mountain of Torma, ornamented with the 8 kinds of consciousness. Whatever arises is merely the play of the mind. All this I offer, filling the whole universe. I offer knowing that giver and receiver are one. I offer without expecting anything in return and without hope of gaining merit. I make these offerings with transcendental generosity in the Mahamudra. Now that I have made these offerings, please grant your blessings so that my mind may be one with the Dharma. Grant your blessings so that Dharma may progress along the path. Grant your blessings so that the path may clarify confusion. Grant your blessings so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. Hum, hum, hum. In the cave of Taksang Senge Samdrup, he who has subdued the evil forces and buried treasure in rocks and snow mountains in holy places of Tibet shows kindness to the people of the future dark age. I supplicate you, Dorje Trollo. I supplicate you, Ugen Padmakara. Hum, hum, hum. You are the Lord of Yidams and conqueror of the whole of existence and all apparent phenomena. You have subdued the viciousness of the Mongol emperor and overcome the energy of fire, water, poison, weapons, and evil forces. I supplicate you, O Karma Pakshi. Hum, hum, hum. You who fulfill all wishes and are Lord of centerless space. You who shine with kind and luminous light, I supplicate you, Tsorpupa. Hum, hum, hum. Ah, Bikyo Dorje fills the whole of space. Oh, he is the Vajra joy which sends out luminous light. Hum, he is the energy of music and Lord of messengers. Om, he is the wrathful action which cleanses all impurities. Hum, hum, hum. Seeing the Bodhisattva Rangjung Dorje is like discovering the wish-fulfilling gem. He removes the poverty of oneself and others. He is the source of all that is needed. I supplicate his wisdom body. Hum, hum, hum. Whatever occurs in the realm of the mind, such as thoughts of the 5 poisons, one should neither lead nor follow. Just let it remain in its true state and reach the liberation of Dharmakaya. I supplicate the Guru of self-liberated perfect insight. We'll do 2 minutes of each of the 3 types of mantra. Hum 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 hum. Hum, hum, hum. Hum, hum, hum. Hum, hum, hum. Hum, hum, hum. When the precious Guru approaches, the whole of space is filled with rainbow light. He sends out his emanations as messengers, and a roaring flame of blessings shoots into the sky. Various meditation experiences and flashes of insight occur. Oh, the great Guru, I follow your example. Please approach and grant your blessings. Bless this place. Give us the four Abhishekas and clear all obstacles. Grant us the ultimate and relative cities. Hum, hum, hum. Hum, hum, hum. In the mandala of Mahamudra shines moonlight, pure and all-pervading. All apparent phenomena are the play of the mind. All qualities are complete within the mind. I, the yogi, am fearless and free from occupations. Hopes and fears of achieving and abstaining are all used up. I awaken into the wisdom with which I was born, and compassionate energy arises without pretense. Hey ho, the self-existing rishi. The siddha enjoys himself with great simplicity. Ah, ah, ah. The wisdom flame sends out a brilliant light. May the goodness of Dorje Trollo be present. Karma Pakshi, Lord of Mantra, King of Insight, may his goodness too be present. Dusam Kempa, the primeval Buddha beyond all partiality, may his goodness be present. Mikyo Dorje, Lord of boundless speech, May his goodness be present here. Rangjung Dorje, faultless single eye of wisdom, may his goodness be present. The Kagyu Gurus, the light of whose wisdom is a torch for all beings, may their goodness be present. The ocean of wish-fulfilling Yidams who accomplish all actions, may their goodness be present. The protectors who plant firm the victorious banner of Dharma, may their goodness be present. May the goodness of the great mind mandala of Mahamudra be present. So thank you all. Just a couple of words. This is a slightly older version of the text. Where it says son, it actually, the text these days should read child. There's one point at which the voice and the text were out of sync a little bit. Don't worry about that. It's the job of the umze to keep the practice flowing. So you've all now received the full permission to practice this in the future. So you'll gradually appreciate this practice more and more, I'm quite sure. Thank you very much for joining tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next Saturday. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
So much.
Thank
Thank
you
you very
so much.
much.
Thank
Thank you so much, Tansy.
you.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Much
Thank
wonderful.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.